Chosen ones, the message I have for you might be challenging to accept, but it is vital for the journey you are undertaking. If you're here watching and listening, it is by divine guidance, not coincidence. God has steered your path to this moment because you are about to embark on a new chapter in life, one that may feel unfamiliar, at times burdensome, and perhaps even solitary. However, you are not abandoned. You are being divinely prepared. Your life is undergoing a sacred separation. People once close may now feel distanced. Friendships might wane, and relationships might change. You might find yourself asking, "Lord, why is this occurring?" But understand this. This is not a punishment. It is a pruning process. As Jesus explained in John 15:2, every branch that bears fruit, He prunes so it may yield even more fruit. You are being set apart because God is investing in you, not because He has forsaken you. He is clearing distractions to enable you to hear His voice more distinctly. This period of solitude is sacred ground. It's here that the Lord fortifies your spirit, refines your vision, and readies your heart for the mission ahead. Think of how God interacted with His servants throughout Scripture. Joseph was betrayed by his brothers, cast into a pit, sold into slavery, and left in prison for years before he was brought into the palace. What appeared as isolation was, in fact, divine planning. Joseph himself acknowledged in Genesis 50:20, "What was meant for evil against me, God meant for good." The loneliness you experience is not a sign of rejection. Instead, it is evidence that heaven is actively working in your story. Like Joseph, you are being groomed to carry blessings not only for yourself but for many others. Consider Elijah, who, after calling down fire from heaven, found himself hiding in the wilderness. It was there, in isolation, that God spoke not through wind, earthquake, or fire, but through a gentle whisper, as recorded in 1 Kings 19:12. This is the power of solitude. In the quiet, the voice of God becomes unmistakable. If you feel disconnected from the world's noise, rejoice, for you are being positioned to hear the whisper that will transform everything. This season may weigh heavily on you at times. You might question if the silence signifies emptiness, but it is not a void. It is space, space for your roots to deepen, space for healing in neglected areas, and space for God to pour new wine into new wineskins as mentioned in Mark 2:22. A seed does not thrive on the surface. It must be buried in the rich, dark soil, unseen and untouched. This mirrors what is occurring in your life now. God has planted you, and though it feels like burial, it is actually the onset of resurrection. Jesus himself explained in John 12:24, "Unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit." Do not mistake isolation for punishment. You are not being punished, rather, you are being prepared. Preparation often calls for separation. Noah, for example, was set apart from his corrupt generation. Although people mocked him as he built the ark, God was shaping him for both survival and legacy. Abraham was summoned to leave his country and his father's house to enter a promise that would give rise to nations. David was left alone in the fields with sheep, forgotten even by his own family. Yet it was in those fields he'd learned to worship, battle lions and bears, ultimately becoming the king who would slay giants. Isolation is God's workshop. It's possible you feel relationships fading from your grasp. Friends you thought would remain may become distant. Some might misunderstand you, while others might not grasp the significant work God is performing in you. And that's fine. People serve different roles in your life, whether for reasons, seasons, or purposes. Some accompany you for brief moments, others for longer terms. But when God removes someone, it's not a loss, it's protection. Isaiah 55:8 reminds us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord." Trust that His plan is greater than what we perceive. During this time, focus on building a stronger relationship with God and yourself. Jesus said, "The greatest commandment is to love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second is like it, to love your neighbor as yourself," as noted in Mark 12:30-31. Loving others naturally stems from learning to love yourself properly. Solitude is where you discover that self-respect and self-care are not selfish acts, but sacred actions that ready you to love others more sincerely. This season will refine who you are. Malachi 3:3 describes God as a refiner and purifier of silver. Imagine God carefully overseeing the process, never leaving you, never permitting the fire to overwhelm you, but ensuring that fears, doubts, bitterness, and shame are purged. What results is pure gold. The discomfort of isolation is fleeting, but the transformation is everlasting. You are being molded into a vessel of glory, ready to bear the weight of a divine purpose. Loneliness might suggest you are forgotten, but remind yourself of the promise in Hebrews 13:5, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." You are never truly alone. Though others may not fully understand, God remains closer than your very breath. The simple fact of this separation indicates that He trusts you with something magnificent. He is drawing you near because your mission will demand intimacy with Him that cannot develop amid crowds. Picture Paul, who spent time in Arabia after his transformative journey on the road to Damascus. That time spent in solitude and silence was not wasted. It was during those moments he received insights that would later change the world. Galatians 1:16-17 clarifies that Paul did not rush to seek human validation. Instead, he retreated to listen to God. You are in a similar season, trained privately for successes that will one day unfold publicly. This isolation is an opportunity for healing. Many of us carry wounds masked by the rush of life, childhood hurts, betrayals, disappointments, failures. Amid life's noise, we tend to overlook them. Yet, in solitude, God gently brings them to light, encouraging healing. Psalm 147:3 assures us, "He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds." This is your moment to let Him reach those deep places, transforming your pain into resilience. The process may not always be comfortable. Like a caterpillar inside a cocoon, transformation can feel like confinement, even a form of death. But in that secret place, wings are formed. Soon, what appears to suffocate will allow you to soar. Romans 8:18 reminds us, "The sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed in us." Do not resent this waiting period. Waiting is not fruitless when it's in God's hands. Isaiah 40:31 reassures us, "But those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Even now, you are being renewed. The delays you experience are not denials, but alignments with divine timing. In this stillness, God is awakening gifts within you that you might not realize you possess. Perhaps you have a talent for teaching, a heart for healing, creativity, or leadership ability. Paul reminds us in 1 Corinthians 12 that there are different gifts, but the same Spirit. This season is about uncovering and nurturing those gifts. What feels hidden is actually a reveal of your divine potential. You might question, "Why me? Why does it seem so difficult?" It's because you are chosen. Chosen people bear responsibilities that others do not. Jesus said in Luke 12:48, "To whom much is given, much will be required." God has blessed you with a mission that requires endurance, clarity, and unwavering faith. This is the reason you are being refined now. And when the right time comes, you will not emerge from this solitude weakened or broken. Instead, you will step forward, strengthened. You'll carry a resilience that cannot be shaken, a wisdom that is indisputable, and a light that cannot be hidden. As Jesus said in Matthew 5:14, "You are the light of the world." A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. This is the individual you are becoming. Your solitude is sparking illumination. So, lift your head, chosen one. Do not mistake silence for absence or loneliness for abandonment. God is nearer now than ever before. This is your sacred cocoon, your holy wilderness, your refining fire. Trust the process. Embrace your preparation because what awaits you is beyond your wildest imagination. Noted in 1 Corinthians 2:9, "No eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has imagined what God has prepared for those who love Him." You are chosen. You are set apart. You are not being punished. You are being molded for what comes next. When the season reaches its fullness, you will step into your calling with an incredible amount of power, grace, and unshakable faith. Hold on tightly, beloved. Your breakthrough is already set in motion.